Alrighty, guys, we're here. We're back, and a little delay for this episode for this round for round 3. I apologize. I'm sorry. I was doing the first 2 rounds before work, and when work happened, things got way too hectic while I was trying to record during work. So that was kind of the dealio. Apologies for this part 3. I know you guys were kind of like hoping to see that. It's like, hey, man, I'm trying to get this part 3, round 3 to 6 as well. I'm like, yeah, I'm on it. I was not able to find time within working to actually get that through. So we are back, and it's a little bit more calm, a little bit more methodical. We can actually get ourselves back into this round for game 3, and I'm honestly kind of hopeful to see where we can stand to see JJH for this round. I was looking back towards how GG came through. I mean, last round's like MVP off of this end, if I'm not mistaken, was DRG. Yeah, it was DRG. Because they picked up, how many eliminations was picked up that round? Because they got 23.5 points. I think they got 15 eliminations, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they got 15 eliminations. So they were kind of coming out here, but GG, right, in the previous round, we're doing, so-so, but this round was 2.7. I'm like, whoa. You telling me they got a 25-point KO game and a 2.7 game? It's like, that can happen. Early game drops can really attest towards how well your team can kind of position out. We did see some magic coming out from FPX, though, that round, too. And I'm not sure we're going to have some random comps like we saw in round 1. I'm talking to you, WBG. They ran out here with a... Tianhai Tessa Kurumi comp, and I was like, yo, chill. But we're going to go ahead, taking a look and seeing what our comps are going to devolve into now, because it looks like everyone's choosing out the Sand Siphon first round. We know this. This is common. This is common knowledge. We know this. We know this is going to happen. All right? We know that's going to happen. Now, the second round's going to get interesting. KLH opts out for doing +1s or +2 overall, or -2 for their point count. But we see AOT come from between Bauda, BBE, and GG. So Viper, Wuch, and Tessa. There's no like acronym we can make. It's tough. The Wucha test comp. Okay. No. The Wu Tepper comp. Oh my gosh. The Wu Tepper comp? WTP? WTP for the comp? No, WTV. WTV. That's tough. WTV. Wutevep. Wutevep. No. Utep. No. Wooter? Wootepper. Yeah, Wootepper. Wootepper. Listen, I'm not saying it's gonna work because it sounds so funky. The Wootepper comp, we're gonna be rocking that Wootepper, because I mean AOT is the Attack on Titan because they go through. But let's say the Attack on Titan's copyrighted. Let's say it is. And Wootepper it is. But WBG, I see that Tessa, I see that Kurumi. I see this. They're rocking it again. They are going to do a second round pick for it, and they're actually going to invest a point because of the Wooteppers coming up for round 2 selection to actually choose to opt into that Tessa. I'm not sure this is going to leave them out of their plans for what they kind of want to plan out for rounds 4 through 6. But this is the last Holoroth map, so you kind of want to make ends meet for the terrain. They had a good sense of a pressure that was being done. I mean, we saw, like, last time I was looking into the leaderboards, like, 10 eliminations on that comp. And it's crazy, too, to see that BBE were able to buy those Moonbanes in round 1 to actually push two Moonbanes. Let me rephrase that. 2 Moonbanes were bought by BBE into the first round. And what happened then was that they kind of were able to go to Fortress of Kaviani and decided to fight WBG. But WBG, even with that with the Moonbane charms dropping down blasts, Sleepwalker just found those grabs, man. Like, he was kind of intense with making sure he's inside of the Moonbane, so that way they can decide to want to push, and then he punishes them for it. And not only that, we were looking at the Viper, or we were looking at Tessa being able to just lock her away, or lock down a double enchant, right? So what happens is that Sleepwalker grabs, Baiji gets an enchant on the person that's on the hand, in his hand, whether it's a Takeda, and then throws the enchant towards an enemy Zipping Ying in a distance. And it was kind of crazy. But let's take a look at the skill selections here and seeing how this kind of operates, because I'm kind of curious in seeing how this kind of goes through. Everything kind of standard here as well. V3, F3 Vipers between both Bauda and GG. And then an F1 combo breaker for Water from FPX, while Zhao Hu's gonna, be the Tessa of the Fairy Shen of how everything kind of runs through. I do want to see if there's any gonna be switches toward the V1. No, it's gonna stay to V1 for A Xiao, as it kind of has to. Just because if Sleepwalker has to be that solo dolo unit, WBG's by G won't really need as much of the armor regen, more than just a health regen. Even then, the V1 kind of gives Sleepwalker enough time to deal out as much pressure within the 30 seconds, and then having a Kurumi heal circle for 12, that just gives him enough time to just do as much as he can. Is it 12? I think it's 15. I'll have to triple check that one. Now it's really the last row I'm kind of looking at, because sometimes some things kind of change out here. If BBE is running the F3 V3, there it is. Alright, then we're good. Because I've seen, I think it was Wolves, and we won't see them here today. We'll see them tomorrow, day 2. Wolves, I think, does the V3 or the V1 F3 for Viper. I don't think we're gonna see that happening again. If it does happen again, it's just for the third party aspect, and that's it. Like, it's really kind of coming out here for the end circle as well. When the chances come to kind of gather a massive amount of stagger, or a massive amount of CC control, that puts him in a spot of being able to do much. So with that being said, let's just continue and seeing about these spawns. Dropping in here, we're gonna see across the board Imperial Village. I'm gonna do that one last. So we have JJH over by the Campbell's Hump. We have XCG inside of Pinnacle Town. I do see KLA in the northwestern end of that, towards the lake where you can see the Blissa towards the Snowy Forest. So they'll kind of see, I kind of want to see how they're going to get themselves into Pinnacle Town. If they are, then they're if not, they'll make their ways towards Igneous Mountain instead, because FPX is over by that area, if not mistaken, or they're into Serpent's Pass, going to that direction. Maybe looking for a Firefly cage, just like how you can see DRG in the west side or east side of City of Tong. They could go for a quick loop into the east gate, and then make their way north toward the southwestern barracks, and then make their ways in between there. There is a Firefly cage, so if they decide to make this rotation from here to there, they will make that chance to happen. But WBG, GG, 521, they're all going to be spawning out, but between this area into the Cinnabar Valley, and I don't know. I mean, 521 has its dead to rights, but the top ground has those buildings, so whether WBG is looking to loot off of that and then go down south, it's up to them. J-Team in the Heart of Plumed. OUG right south of the Salvation Podium, Bauda, and I believe that's going to be JJH. They're actually going to be spawning into near Imperial Village. Now, I'm looking at how this is going to go through between XCG. If they do get ambushed out here by KLA, if KLA finds enough necessary loot, if FPX makes their way from the Serpent's Pass down towards south, they'll have ultimates to be available somewhat, at least to the extension of how long are they going to be sitting on the Firefly cage. And if not, are they going to go straight to the Yushan Ruins to be at 100% for everybody, and to deny loot for any teams that lose within their nearby regions? That's the biggest thing about it. Like, if a team loses, are they making a rotation to Yushan? And if not, are they still okay by having that Yushan Ruins to be looted out for themselves? Time will tell with Game 3. So let's take a look and see how they kind of start that off. WBG makes their way south, right? 521 is already in there as suspected, but WBG haven't found any armor yet, while Sleepwalker is going to be one of the first people to get caught into a bad spot. F3 from Kurumi. Shout out to A Xiao for actually doing that. Is going to give Sleepwalker enough time to survive, but Baiji has that initial rage into his build, so he's able to get one cast ultimate. This is where it becomes to a highly risky play of initial rage, where it is a, how do you say, high risk, high reward. If you go into an area with low loot, but an enemy's there, and you get the opportunity for that team to, like, give them an understanding of who you are, yes, because they'll see your recommended spawns, and then they'll be like, okay, we'll spawn on them, but you don't know what team comp they're playing. When you throw in a wrench like the Tianhai, into the mix, or a Tessa into a Tianhai comp, if they're not second or third round pick, or they are second round or third round pick, and you're kind of expecting to see the Viper Wu Chen Tessa, and all of a sudden you see a Tessa, but you see a Tianhai. I mean, the Tianhai doesn't really make a difference in the beginning of the option, but the Tessa will. The Tessa definitely will be, the high risk, high reward for that second round position of choosing her, because if they're running Initial Rage, and this is before season 12, Initial Rage will give you the granted opportunity for a cast ultimate to kind of turn the fight around, because they don't have armors. They didn't have armors. They're still looting up. They found their chances here to kind of work their way through against this comp. But the thing about Aisha right now is that, I'm not mistaken, F1, yeah, F1's still up for Pampy, so he gets caught into this position of holding, checking the blue focus. You're going to see the tackle lock Baiji down. Unique can actually confirm this kill with the RB from the staff. Doesn't actually get it. No jump LMBs was able to get Baiji out, but Sleepwalker gets elimination of Yin. Dragon Slayer is going to come through, but denied with Sleepwalker's F1. A Soul Bloom in the armor pickup. That was massive from Sleepwalker, looking to loot that as fast as possible. Let's take a look how fast that was. Right, LMB comes out here. Bell. I'm not sure how fast he was on picking up that armor, but dang, if you found that armor early on, that's kind of crazy. Or found that armor to pick up from the body, that's fast. But a Dragon Slayer confers Unique to actually get a free LMB or RMB. I want you guys to take that into consideration whenever you're like seeing how fast this is going to be done. Whenever a Dragon Slayer from a spear comes out for your teammates, you want to take as much opportunity of getting back to them to deal out finishing blows. A staff doesn't have really much of a finishing blow. It has extensions. It has a way for you to really just do out keeping your foes in a propelled motion, like RMB or LMB, right? The horizontal, the pitter patter. That's 8 hits that maybe Pampy can find for an RMB from the blue or a vertical blue focus from the spear to just dish out a singular crescent slam, or just to, bop him down. He can't have Dragon Slayer off from the time frame from the pitter patter, but the RMB, that allows for propulsion for the enemies to be in midair to get caught out, which then would give Pampy maybe a jump LMB instead, or maybe just to go through and just control them for that position that they're stuck in. But look at the whisk throw coming up from Unique, who drops right in, double shift RMB, and catches Sleepwalker right at the very end. And Aisha also eliminated from the Dragon Slayer, or Neja's Might. Yeah, Baiji's gonna survive this one. Well, I mean, I'm not survive this one, I should say. Pampy actually activates F1 in the middle, taking on that R&B action. So, I mean, obviously right now, Baiji can't release any blues, but 2 teammates against 1, and you can't release any blues against cicadas. That's where it comes into play, where Baiji is not going to have a fun time there. But 5-2-1 wins it out here. 3 eliminations. They get themselves Moonbanes. They should be. At least they should be. They should be, right? Yeah, we'll have to see. But actually, let me look at their thing. No, they didn't buy any Moonbanes. They didn't gather up the resources to do so. I'm not sure we saw any early onslaught Moonbane purchases. Did we? Did we miss that? Oh, there it is. FPX and DRG bought those already. Psh. Typical. Yeah, no. Moonbanes are gone by the first minute, though. If not sooner. And what's crazy about this is that we know that DRG spawned, if I'm not mistaken, DRG spawned way into the Serpent's Pass, right? No, they spawned into the city of Tang, right? So they're kind of by themselves in the city of Tang to get the loot boxes to the east side. If there's a shop on the east gate, it's perfect. They get the boxes, they break them all, they go straight towards it. There's a lot of boxes on the eastern side of city of Tang. As for FPX, they did go to Serpent's Pass, right? So FPX, you can see right there on the northwestern end right there, they were able to get those boxes as well. There's a lot of boxes spread out between the maps. Into the Dunes is a great example of like that option. And in Morris Isle, right, we'll see it. It's going to be Artisan's Grove. It's going to be super northeastern side of Shadow Jade Mine, like outside of Shadow Jade Mine. Like you'll see it. There's boxes there that players spawn in. I've seen that more times than can count. And QGG up against, right, we're going to go to KLA. But that's where like you want to make sure you get early game Moonbanes. In the new Season 12, bro, initial tide coins can kind of make that a lot easier. I'm not sure how much the gold is going to be. I'm not sure how the build is going to be spent, because the thing is that it requires less maintenance and trying to find boxes, where you take more time in trying to find out more and more rewards for yourself to just loot up and then being able to buy Moonbane off the rip. It's kind of immaculate, really. So for that, It actually can make it so maybe, hey, maybe they don't even need the Dark Titan's initial Dark Titan coins, because I think the value that comes off of these teams, off of the new preparation glyph board, it could be more beneficial for them to, like, the initial tide coins definitely is going to make it a lot easier, because all they need to do, instead of breaking like 15 boxes, instead of breaking like 12 boxes to 10 boxes, right, and then having that gold per second tick over time, that they'll find their opportunity of just being able to grab, you know, grab that Moonbane early on anyways. But it really comes down towards the end game or the mid game, where they're able to buy and snowball a lot of their gear now into season 12. I'm not going to get into it until we actually get more into it, just to kind of give you guys more preface of this, because this is still season 11 pretty much for this build for the NBPL. So once we enter bi-weekly season 2's week end, after that, everything changes. But we are going to see QGG kind of figure himself out here. He is going to lose out 17S as QGG kind of built up time to escape. It really just came down to that pressure from XCG. I mean, let's bring him back. So what happened here early on is that we know that 17S is down. I don't know what happened. I don't know how he got focused. I don't know what kind of process it's going through on this end. But I would only assume, since it's a Kurumi, they focused them down early. So, if anything kind of comes out between CXZ right now with QGG, it's that, you know, they have JJH's Godly in their eyes, but JJH Godly, we know his F was down, right? We watched his clip back. Godly had his F down here. This F3. That's F3. So once it disappeared, right, Godly had no defenses. You can see them pushing him because, hey, yo, he doesn't have a combo breaker. But here's the problem, right? Every neutral gets caught into Clinks, and then Shu was make sure to Clink QGG and look for a parry against CXC, and but iframe dodging it at the same time. But Yodohime ultimate, that's a factor right there that doesn't give KLA the necessary benefit of what they're looking for. They find CXZ finds a kill off of Shu. QGG picks up the Soul Bloom, but he didn't have enough time to, like, he picked up the Soul Bloom and got smacked, and then he got his ult. It's not him picking up his Soul Bloom and then getting his ultimate. Like, he wasn't able to proc that out. He took that slash to get rage per second off. So, if you're like, oh man, you could ult cast. He could ult cast here. He would have taken the RMB from Kakaxi at like 80%, 75% mitigation value. And he would have had 2 slashes, or not 2 slashes. He would have had 3 Fear Blasts. The only problem is Godly is in V3 form. So even though he uses slashes and a teleport happens, he could, yeah, you can see him. He turns around. He could just go ahead and mirror out QGG with those slashes, and QGG just gets, you know, pummeled out here anyways. Even with the sustain that he would have offered himself for using the Furin, it would have been most likely Furin shots, or not even Furin shots, Musket shots coming up from Kakaxi, who may have had F ability up for him to actually enable. So, comes out towards it. We're going to have to see these other fights coming out here. While this comes through here, we're going to see J-Team Lee up against Ben or BBE. J-Team against, I don't know what happened because we just saw the very, very end of that fight. So, J-Team's going to pick up the eliminations, number 3, set of 3. And he's going to go, oh man. He's going to definitely go ahead and make sure he can kind of make his point to be taken. Like, hey, we got to go to the shop. We gotta make sure we go buy some purple weapons because I don't see blues right now. But BBE, I don't know why Fat Milk is kind of looking for a port here. Let's see how well his port has been placed. Honestly, I don't even know if he set up his port. Did he not set up his port? Okay, he's gonna set up it now. But does he have enough time to rotate back to his team for the reses? No. So he's just gonna go ahead and bait out while the remainder of his team, Roishishi and Ben, are actually grouping up with him. Well, J-Team Lee doesn't have any grapples. He can't really go ahead in this chase. I see a purple cannon there. That's kind of it's kind of a wild drop there, honestly. He set up the trap. He locked down Yoda. No more grapples from her. Fat Milk using as much traps as possible, but J-Team Zem found that that niche of finding the outside position. F3 is down. Can't use any port because due to the silence, but even then, I don't think he had distance to his port. I think it already expired for the distance lost. So we'll have to see. In the meantime, though, GG over by the Cinnabar Valley. They'll be looking towards themselves with 5-2-1 and chasing them out. A 5-2-1 looking pretty snazzy right now with purple weapons. Actually, to the extension, they got 3 eliminations, so this could have been bot weapons. Could have been. But we'll have to see. LXM has V3. He hasn't used his F3. There's Pampy's ultimate. Now, if LXM wants to focus down this Takeda right now, now would be the time. Going forth it and seeing about the enchant, we're going to see LXM taking all these hits, all this mitigation to be deducted, and then with it, there's R3. There it is. I say R3, but it's R&B, and I'm thinking R2 for controller, but then it's not R2. It's actually L2 because they reverse it. Besides the point for the vault. LXM looks towards and trying to see about, you know, trying to single out the remaining 5-2-1 member, but the team's got it. Temi Circle was invested for it. The Viper Ultimate was vested, or the Tesla ult, the Viper ult, but they got the rage back from that anyways. Now, JJH are looking to ambush upon WBG. Baiji is now at half HP. He's trying, I'm not saying trying, A Shao is trying to keep him sustained here with F3. If not, it's going to be an ultimate cast. But JJH, Godly, JJH, Maran, or Shu, they're actually looking to try to just go into ult form to confirm this kill against Baiji. But the problem here now is where Sleepwalker attempts to grab, or rather he jumps instead to push back. But the main caveat about this comp is this. Tessa can cause enchant. She can cause a interruption, I should say, against both Transformers, but mostly let's talk about Fairy Shenmech. So when the Fairy Shenmech gets in cannon mode, right, she's kind of low-key invulnerable to a certain extent, but as long as you're able to grab the driver, the pilot of that mech, you can actually get them out of ultimate. What this comp can kind of also do, from what I'm seeing here, is the case scenario is what we have for Tessa is that she staggers the Fairy Shenmech to where if Tianhai finds that opportunity in the position that she's looking and then she's staggered backwards, is that he can get a grab off the pilot because of that. But what happens here is that Sleepwalker was a little bit too early by pressing V, where Godly was able to look away by the time that he actually reached it, and he missed his opportunity there. The only other time there is the enchant. This enchant is the only time that Sleepwalker can grab Godly. He's looking for the angle. He doesn't get it. He docks her back because of the fat, you know, the fat armor that kind of conceals her. And for the Otohime, right? Because Godly is the pilot of it, but he's not the Fairy Shen. We can see actually Maran in the background trying to like lock in some shots while Godly goes for those cannon shots against Baiji. But Baiji has another cast ultimate ready. Sleepwalker is demeched. All right, we're going to deformation from the Transformer from the Vajra. Shu is also down for ultimate. So this is where it comes. Are we going to see a switch around between these comps? Now, of course, Sleepwalker finds out Shu, holds his R&B as long as possible. His team goes ahead for the confirmation of the kill. This V1 can give a lot of time here, but we know that Godly is going to be trying to build up rage here as much as he can. Parry comes out from Baiji. We're going to see an R&B coming out here, or an LB just being spanned from Maran as the Fairy Shen, and this is where it actually comes out to troublesome efforts. Sleepwalker is now at 200 HP. Maran going to look to try to focus him out. He's got himself to get locked down by A Shao. Baiji is somewhere healing as of right now, and going back into this fight is his main objective, is try to stop this pressure coming up from Maran. Maran's the highest health HP target here, by definition. Charging up ultimate from using range shots in the distance while his teammate was in that mech. This gives Maran the ultimate advantage that he's kind of looking for. Even the F3 cuts into investment, but we see Baiji actually looking to try to deny you know, the crossbow bolts just to make sure that those crossbow bolts don't interrupt the staggers, but also from a distance he can actually confirm kills off of Godly. And then Baiji just gets the opportunity of a lifetime here for his team to get this elimination. That was an immense push from WBG. The fact that JJH though, they didn't find really much opportunity. They didn't find much value off of using the Fairy Shen and the Fairy Shen and the Wei Shan ult at the same time. The problem that comes out of that is that, I mean, we know that Tianhai ult was used, and if anything, you know, they can't focus on the Tianhai. That was the main purpose of this comp, where it's like you can't focus on the Tianhai, because if you leave the Fairy Shen, or not the Fairy Shen, if you leave the Tessa out to kind of work her magic and walking around, she was the lowest health target. Yes, that's one case scenario, and they were still focusing her out. They can't focus on Tianhai though, because since Baiji has to be able to you know, be alive, he can also disrupt this whole team's flow with his enchant, right? And Sleepwalker is that insurance policy for WBG, where if you get caught out, you can get locked down. Wei Shan should have been the person taking through for the Wei Shan, or taking through for the ground units to kind of help his teammates. Because the biggest flaw in this comp is that when you're not having an ultimate cast to kind of come out to deny the slams, maybe Moran should have taken the investment of the ult himself, so that with the Yodohime, all right, we would see some sort of chances of just being able to use ultimate. But I'm not even sure if she had ultimate at any point. Let me see. She had like 65. She had like 60% rage. I don't know. If Moran took the ult for himself, right? If Moran took was selfish in taking the beacon for himself, if Godly was playing the purple armor, purple range, right, there would have been only one grab that's conferred toward. Let's break it down, right? Because if Godly was to be going ahead on ground unit form, and if Godly was to earn out rage, we know that Baiji as well as A Shout would have looked toward. Well, Baiji would definitely be looking towards Yodohime on ground unit duty. A Shout would have been going ahead and having to keep the tether either to Sleepwalker or to Baiji, just in case of anything, because we know Shu would have been an ult as a result. And if Shu was an ultimate for that time duration, like to the extension, right? The main objective is kind of being on a rotation for these ultimates. Moran being in that Fairy Shen mech would have caused pressure for both the ground units and for the Tianhai at being at a distance. And if Baiji needs to try to lock down that ground unit, he's now stuck between a Fairy Shen mech form, a Yodohime on ground unit form, and an ultimate general that's not staggered by anything besides his own ultimate. So it's kind of like, if this team utilized those three options of having that type of point to be made, right, then it would force Sleepwalker to have to really think about who should be focused on, because he's going to look at ground unit, Godly. He's going to be tracking him and trying to grab him. But one thing that comes out is that he may not even get a double grab, because obviously the only person that he would have been able to try to get would have been Moran for the Fairy Shen. And even then, off of that end, right, it would have been up to Baiji and A-Shot to try to range down that Yodohime getting grabbed. But Shu would have denied that, right? Moran would have denied that. They wouldn't have gotten as much value off of the ultimates to kind of the value off of the grab to go for range shots, where they would have taken the position of having three ultimates active at this time to work off in pushing out Sleepwalker, or just to deny this ultimate from Baiji to kind of go into full value. Because Fairy Shen would have been his target, maybe Yodohime, but if Yodohime built out rage, guess what? She's going to slam the heck out of Sleepwalker by the time coming through here, if it came down. Because Baiji would have looked for ultimate cast to kind of come out here in the early end, yes, because he was at 100%. Who would his target have been? And if he had found his target, would it have been enough value for Sleepwalker to actually find the time to get the grab anyways? Because if Gali puts enough distance, or rather if Moran found enough distance as a Fairy Shen there to kind of deny the grabs coming up from the Tesla enchant, would have been something where he can take that into his peak position. Because the fat armor is like, it's a really big shield, like it's a really big armor shield for anyone to try to get grabbed. They wouldn't be able to get grabbed. Maybe verticality would have been his advantage. Maybe he used double boost into the sky to avoid the grab. He'd had to make sure though his position for when he does the enchant, or when he walks forward with the enchant, is that he looks away. He looks away to try to go for it, and then when the enchant happened, he goes towards the enchant. So if he looks to reverse that, he's kind of good to go. Now onto the Pinnacle Town. We see KLA and BBE are next to one another. KLA only found 2 eliminations so far. BBE found 3. We do have Romiang here in about 2 minutes or time frame or so we should be able to see that soonish. Roy Shishi actually going towards this guy here. I mean, these guys are going to make their way towards Metop if they can, but I think XCG are still, they're in slow form. At least one of them is. Kakaxi rocking himself right into the heart of QGG, and is unfortunately in a really tough position. What are those gold jades? And why did we leave those gold jades behind? What kind of gold jades are those? Yeah, BB is rushing into KLA's guys. It kind of sucks because we know that Kakaxi is the only teammate left here. And if they look for a third party here, XCG could have better opportunity here. This is tough for QGG though. BBE's Reishishi finds that V3 and the enchant to kind of work off, but the V3 duration does not guarantee much off of making sure the silence is ensured, and QGG is just going to have a real estate push. Now, he gets parried here. He also gets stanchioned, or I think he gets stanchioned. No, his teammate gets the stanchion off. I think whether or not it's going to be up to BBE to actually get out of here alive, I don't think it's going to be possible. Wu-Chen port is enabled. They are in a good spot, but DRG was able to spot that Wu-Chen port and takes out Fat Milk in succession, and we're going to see if Roshi's stuck in his building for a little bit of time. Moonlight finds him, looks for a slide uppercut, gets the extension here. 1, 2, 3. We release those, and that's going to be an R&B from Moonlight. That's tough. I don't even know if DRG just saw the port be placed or they just happenstanced. They were rocking this. Oh, they just happenstanced that, man. That's tough. That's honestly really, really, really tough for BBE. It just happens. Really quick rotation out here from DRG towards Pinnacle Town, which is crazy because we know that DRG went from all the way to City of Tang, and I guess they were rotating down. I think they were rotating down the end of the dunes. Maybe the City of Tang courtyard. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that rotation went through because DRG went from Tang to here. That's kind of nuts. Like this is like West Side, so they kind of schmoofed their way through. But I haven't seen Moonbanes coming dropped in here yet, or rather, we haven't seen fights happen within the Moonbanes as extensive as we were hoping for. DRG, right? They have a Moonbane. FPX has a Moonbane, but I don't think FPX found any sort of value off of their Moonbane. Maybe they're casting one now. I'm not sure. Usually when I'm looking towards these broadcasts, I just really wish I had the in-game audio as well so I can keep track of everything. But can't do that. Because if I hear everything, I know you hear everything, you can like close your eyes like yeah, R&B. No, but let's see how you goes through here. These OUG actually spawned on Salvation Podium, so they have Gold Fan on the Takeda, and that's big. But they don't have an immediate ultimate, so you can't just go to the sky and press V and then be in mitigation for that whole downfall. But he uses F1 here, looks to the R&B. This is tough. He hold checks, catches his XOY with a neutral attack of the hold check, and that's going to be an F3 from XOY to kind of keep the fairy shit in check. But I'm not even sure she's going to have enough time to get into Mech Beacon. No, the king finds it. Parry. Oh, hold on. XOY looks for the slash against you. Finds a fan again. That's unfortunate. I don't think Leo was actually able to do much off this end. Nice parry from you though. Dodge is coming out here against against his opponents, and you gets almost his elimination here. R&B or span out here against Lee. A nice R&B. So this is the point I was actually making about the builds for season 12, where it's like, let's see where this kind of shapes up, because you know, a lot of these comps kind of, like for instance, the comp that J-Team is running and where OUG is succeeding in the fight against the Roman Yang, I want to make mention about like you, and even not even just to you, but even to Lee. Both of these characters, or both of these like players, they're catching these parries. Oh yeah, they're catching these parries, but right, for instance, on Yu's end, he had so much forces to kind of work with against where XOY could get a slash, but instead he opts out for doing a dodge. You can see this coming right through here. Finds his parry. Dodge. Like, he dodges. Like, he can't really do anything with it. But I honestly think the Season 12 preparation board, right, where you can actually, you can enable a dodge into activating your parry, activating your counter. Perhaps later maybe in the NBPL season we'll see it, but maybe certain characters can opt out. Maybe like, and that brings up the point about the gold in the beginning, what I was making point of. These teams don't really necessarily, you know, these teams don't necessarily run into the aspect of, you know, needing much gold, because now, like before season 12, discount can go up significantly higher than what we can get in season 12, where 24% is our cap. They could technically go minimum of 30, and then if not, they can go up to 40. And if they decide to run up to 40, that just means that their Moonbanes are not going to be as costly, you know, as it once might be. But 1,500 initial tide coins, maybe move the other half of the build towards dodge when you parry. That could give an opportunity for certain characters like Takeda's and Ultimate, because Takeda's and Ultimate gets parries. Maybe Takeda's and Ultimates can see about using a parry, dodging it, making sure Wei Shan does his F, because Takeda's teammate comes in to try to slam down with an R&B for the pole sword or staff, and then this forces the F1 from the Wei Shan, in which case you can, like, for instance, dodge and then delay his gold focus attack and then, skewer his opponents. This is where Season 12 really comes into, okay, what can we really cook with here in terms of builds and getting away with it? Because, I'm not saying 8% discount is not all that, or the extra 45 dark tide coins per second, but if we're looking for a character that his role is on ground unit duty at all times, for him to be able to catch a timing where it's not beneficial for him to use berry attack because he knows the combo breaker is going to come out from the opponent to the point where they can actually get away with it, or maybe just to avoid enemy opponents' attacks like the Wei-Shun slam down, or even to Yorohime slashes where they get a parry in between. That teammate is looking to kind of defend their teammate for that. And a nice surprise, not too nice to the team, is that enemy opponent not getting slammed down or getting gold focus strike, they dodge. And then they do the parry. Right? Heck, you can get a dodge, right? And instead of going against the ground unit target who hasn't used combo breaker yet, who hasn't used ultimate, right? You can use a dodge attack on that Wei-Shun who's now in a susceptible position to take a lot of damage. That's where it's like, oh, don't fight the person that is on the ground who has a combo breaker. Fight the person who is now in your realm of things to actually slew them down. That would be kind of nuts, But this is that. The testing grounds is always available for seeing how these players are gonna want to do this. Now into Rami Yang. Sleepwalker looks ahead, and this is WBG versus FPX, and Dongqing's already in 100% ult or 100% rage, 100% everything, but he is content champ. This is tough because you can actually see Dongqing is close to the pillar as is, so that shield really just widens up where he's not gonna get grabbed. So we're gonna have to see that. And with this, Sleepwalker gets caught into one shot. I'm pretty sure Dongqing has 2 shots minimum. 2 shots, maybe 3. Oh, he has 3. And Sleepwalker actually has to see about his teammate Aisha proccing the V1 ultimates. Water finds his ultimate, guys, and Sleepwalker is now gonna be leaving out his ultimate. He finds a grab off of Xiao Hu, but Sleepwalker is also at 100% ultimate, so he doesn't really have much issues coming out from the Vajra state. But Dongqing has ultimate cast still as a Yorohime, and you actually see Xiao Hu is at 50% right now. So Sleepwalker is now going to see his teammate catch the enchant. Xiao Hu does not have F1. He has a combo breaker. He has F3, I should say. Nice F3. Who's he shooting it at? He's waiting. He should have shot out of the water at Sleepwalker at this point. I don't know if he actually shot that shot. Did he even shoot that shot? Did he even get a chance? Oh, wait. I don't even think he even shot anybody, man. Maybe he shifted too soon. Maybe he F'd. Yeah, he shifted too soon. He probably jumped. That's tough. He actually would have stopped Dongqing from getting the R&B. Would have stopped Baiji, though. Nah. Baiji would have kept the pressure on. And then Water gets content enchant anyhow. And then that is going to be a connection right there. Dreadful Will to keep the propulsion, keep the variation propelled, and Sleepwalker will have his chance here for a level 3 pole sword swing. This is a really good turnaround for WBG rocking this comp. But not only to that, for a day 1 experience. That's a really big surprise. Day 1, week 2, right? So we still have 2 other days where it's like, oh, maybe this comp is viable. Control and demand. The control and demand comp. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. But gold fan here being picked up, and a purple fan on standby. And we might see a chance here for Vermilions for sure. No questions about it. If I see anything else, I'm going to question your answers. But a Forbidden Seal in the middle of danger. A Ballista from OUG coming through? The King? Oh, Sleepwalker uses ult because Aishao is donezoed in HP bar. That's actually kind of nuts. Let's talk about this. Ballista shot. Aishao is the one purple armor too. What did he take? What did he take? Where's Aishao? Oh, R&B from the fan? Yeah, that's about right. Hizzle, he actually crossed ult here. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Yu gets grabbed. We're going to see SS almost get caught in a position, but Baiji can't catch the King in a position he'd rather be in, and we're going to see a grab against SS who used F, but it did not capture him. We're going to see another, no grab for 1, but 2, yes, maybe so. I'm not sure. It looks like Sleepwalker's just trying to go back and forth, but the amount of range shots from these guys is kind of immense. I'm not sure why, I'm not sure why you didn't use ultimate here. V2 is active. I'm not sure if it's a double grab, but SS is locking down Sleepwalker's HP bar since there is no V1, since Aishao had to use it as a defensive measure for himself. didn't have the chance of actually grabbing that through for Sleepwalker. And Sleepwalker has F3, so he's not going to take as much damage, but he gets out. He's not going to stay alive here. If an R&B fan comes out from any of the OG guys, this is going to be a kill steal. But that would have been if he was still in Roger ult. So now Sleepwalker has 1,000 armor. Has a pulse sword, gets caught into the R&Bs even with that point. Nice parry. But picks up the fan. Very smart. Doesn't attempt for a parry attack. Just goes straight towards picking up that weapon. And that gives a big damage denial for OUG. And OUG, they didn't have to use their Vermilion Bird's Might. The smart play there, having the Forbidden Seal to be as close over there to the Roman Yang portal was kind of ingenious for them to actually get that off. So with that, we're gonna switch it over. XOY gets a parry, doesn't confirm it due to the building and fall off. But XOY looks towards and having his beacon dropped in from his teammate Zem. Now this is where both Fairy Shen beacons are utilized. XOY goes into cannon mode, but mistakenly, doesn't want to stay in cannon mode because he knows where Dongqing kind of stands off this end. Cannon shots do not connect off of XOY. Honestly, I think XOY was safe here. Honestly, I think XOY wouldn't have if it was that close. I'm pretty sure there was no angle for that. I think Dongqing was just right around the circumference where he wasn't able to actually catch water out for cannon shots. You can see that he went straight into Swarm as a result. If XOY stayed up there, he would have gotten the kill. I believe he did. I don't believe Dongqing had the angle. I think he was at that exact radii where he could not see or he could not hit XOY possibly. So he was looking right here. He was probably going back and forth on the aiming and didn't see it. And he's like, oh, no, I gotta go into Swarm form. And if Water stick to it, he could have gotten. You could have seen Water. He went into ult form for the Wei Shan, but he could have got some more time. Hopefully. He denies Dongqing from pushing this, but Water looks towards XOY for the D-Mech, and it's going to hold some huge value here. Yodohime ult not being casted. This is the timing right now. F2 is F3 for J team right now for the Yodohime. Not going to have some value towards using that as a defensive measure, but this ultimate, big time. Jiahu is close to the level 3 death, but we're going to see an R&B, no parry. XOY does not have F ability up. F3 shot. Could it connect through the wall? Ooh, dodges it. Gets baited out for a parry. Ooh, Dongqing has F3 ready, though. Keeps himself and his teammate alive. But they find it. J-Team still trying to fight this one out. Lee, having been the last Wei Shan to come through here, is going to give his team the pressure if XOY can confirm stagger hits. There it is. Water's caught out. J-Team's XOY went for a safety heal here, just in case. Because now that Lee is going to be out of mech, he knows that he's going to be the only person that's left in this fight. F3's up. Lee may or may not be able to have a safe time inside of that forbidden, inside the F3 from her. But parry comes out, loses purple nunnies, unfortunate, and as XOY gets eliminated, that's going to be J-Team's fall. It's kind of tough. Really is kind of tough. I'm not going to lie. But FBX heads to the shop. They buy back Xiaohu, and Xiaohu comes through here right next door. And I think, honestly, huge value. I'm not sure if the Soul Bloom was picked up for Dongqing. Surprisingly, no Soul Bloom was picked up for Dongqing. Maybe a Panic Soul Bloom pickup from Water. Maybe. Perhaps. We're gonna have to double check. We're gonna have to double check. Where are we at? 3 minutes? Oh, perfect. Cause did Zem get did Jiahu get like sent to the Shadow Realm because of the Roman Yang depletion? Let's see. Oh, he did. Yeah, right there, right there. Panic Soul Bloom from J Team's XOY. Yeah. Okay. No, you got it. No. Because XOY should have not say XOY. Dongqing should have found a Soul Bloom somewhere around here between these two. Let me see. Soul Bloom left there. I'm looking at that Soul Bloom. Did he pick it up? He did! Wait, no, he didn't. If he picked it up, the HP bar would have been up. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Dongqing went back for that Soul Bloom. I hope he went back for that Soul Bloom. Did he go back for that Soul Bloom? I'm kind of hoping that FPX didn't grief there. I'm hoping Water didn't pick up both Soul Blooms. Oh yeah, I need my ultimate. Because Roman Yang depletion is it's tough to get rid of when you find the opportunity of finding and winning said fight where a team like had an ultimate to be ready, or not ultimate, had a buff for instance. It's a really uphill battle from there. But I don't think that was the case. Hoping it's not the case. That's the biggest part. Kaylee's QGG or Kaylee in general, they're actually working their way through more to the Plume Castle. Just making their way towards it. And we could see Sleepwalker actually looking towards and just making his distance towards Imperial just for loot. And I think honestly, if anything comes out from WBG right now, is that if this comp comes out for another high kill game or high point game, it could be taken from day 2 gamers or day 2 players, day 2 teams, I should say, to work it into their mix if it comes out. Because we've seen Justina kind of be now picked up from GG randomly, right? WBG and ALL, they're kind of working that out from that point where it was stated from Raven, like I mentioned in the first round, where the Vietnamese teams like BBE or 521 or even VNGC coming out from AS, if anything, could have been a progenitor for that. But it's really something where WBG are the second ones to use it in the NBPL season, and they were actually able to fully capitalize off of it more so. But we'll have to see how that kind of ends up here if it still makes its rounds. But WBG, ult from Sleepwalker gets range down from you. I'm not going to see. Okay, A-Shock has a tether active. He gets F3 for Sleepwalker. That's an immediate grab off the King. And the pushbacks from you could have denied. It will deny this point. And there's the King with a immense ultimate cast. Gets caught into a double grab. V2's proc. Another grab against you. Another grab. Okay, wait a second.
Well, Keelan circles out. We get the double grab. Do we get the re-grab again? Quad grab coming out from Sleepwalker. Rumi, all invested. They're still not out of the woodwork right now. Yu's doing a ton of pressure from behind, getting tons of value off these shoves. Hemi with the parry, and now Sleepwalker is going to get taken down. Great job of Sleepwalker.
I'm not going to lie, though. I thought they were going to win that one out. Gonna have to go ahead and we're gonna have to go ahead and look back on that one real quick. All right, so I need to see what happened here, because the King had a grandiose ultimate cast there, right? Like that ultimate cast, like he got double smack. His ultimate's coming off, like his ult. Okay, so he ulted right here, or once he stood on the hand of the Tian Hai. And then activated V2, right? Melee grab distance gives Sleepwalker U his position. And this is where it's like, man, things could have not gone better for, or like things couldn't have been worse for OUG right here, because you getting grabbed here, and then not only to that, not even extending his stay, the King gets grabbed. We know this enchant is going to be activated afterwards. It really comes down to how many Fury Blasters were invested. So we're going to take a look at you. How many old casts? Okay, so we have this is the initial one. He's got 4, so that's 1. Okay. Double grab happens. Can't stop it. Gets gone to the second one. Fury Blast number 2 right there. Another double grab. And then SS finally procs out his V2 proc for the Zipping Ying, as King wasn't the one who got grabbed. Third Fury Blast there. And as King kind of works his way towards his SS, comes out a lot. Did SS have a Mortal Defiance? No, he still had more. Wait. No, he never even died from. He didn't even get popped for the V2 Zipping. He just took the damage. How much defense mitigation can you have? Wait, how much HP? He had full HP. This is gold weapon too. All right, hold on. So that happened. He lost like 2,000 HP. Maybe, yeah, 2,000 HP, because he has HP Jades up to 36%. So, he lived with like a not even like up for debate. It's just a minimum HP threshold to keep himself alive. And that's how you can counter Tian Hais, where you have those HP Jades to keep you alive. Sleepwalker though, D-Mex, the King right behind, ready for an R&B, gets a clink, denies his R&B that it comes out. That's the last Fury and Blast. As A-Shao, actually no, it's not the last Fury and Blast. So that was the third one. Sleepwalker looks towards this, an enchant against SS. This would have been where everything kind of devolved. Where for OUG especially, because they have no ultimates, they have nothing to their name. The only thing that was kind of working off was that end, but so does WBG. They don't have nothing. But that parry right there from SS, that turned around the whole fight. Honestly, I don't even think Sleepwalker would have lived if he just held check for a parry check, because even then there was another R&B coming out here from this point. Right, yeah, parry comes out here, picks up the fan, his teammates instead, and you can see the switch up. Baiji got ignored big time. And disenchant was done. SS commits his raise towards his Nejals, and even no, you didn't even disenchant. He just walked straight to Sleepwalker for this kill confirmation. And both these guys are enchanted. R&B from the king, as he wasn't the one enchanted, gives him enough value to focus down a shout, as SS was the one focused by Baiji and gets limited. That's immense. That the fact of the matter is that triple double grabs. I gotta see this, right? Because we know that the king gets out of this hand, gets into ultimate cast, V2, puts into a double grab, right? Boom, right? That's a proc right there. You lost his he didn't lose it. He actually gained his HP, right? Like he didn't lose as much HP as we would have thought. Because this is a double grab with gold weapon, and you can see use HP bar. I'm not sure you can see it. There it is. You can see the little tag right there, the little dent. That right there gives enough survivability for you, where he can actually go off and surviving, like just how SS was able to survive. And you're gonna see you get caught right back into it, even after the enchant procced. And this is gonna be another global grab. But guess what? SS also has that HP, and you doesn't lose as much HP as we might have thought, because I think F1 was granted for him from zipping in. Let's take a look and see. Not even. Just burned it out. That's immense. That's crazy. So it's kind of funny too, because season 12 will actually, I don't know if it's going to hurt Tianhai more. I don't know if it's a ratio percentage of like HP to armor. But Tianhai, the armor increase, that's 20% more armor between all variants. It's kind of nuts, especially up against Tianhai's, who may or may not be able to get now kill confirmations with double grabs as previous before, unless it is percentage based. We're gonna have to double check that now, because that's the only way we can check and seeing that. But man, that's tough, man. That's tough. That's actually kind of tough. For WBG, I mean, they kind of had dead to rights territory, but OUG 14 eliminations here now after that Roman Yang, and first off, like figuring their fight against WBG outside of the Roman Yang after the first Roman Yang, and now into the second one, I don't say demolishing them, but coming back from that is kind of mind-boggling. Shout out HP Jades. Who you need to survive in order to win the game, right? So it would kind of make sense for these guys to kind of work that one in. In the meantime, though, FPX up against what seems to be Bauda, and I don't think Bauda has much chances to get out of here. Jing is eliminated here for his soul form, and that only leads to Wu Chen, which means I'm not sure if he's around, but OUG shows up. F2 from Xiaohu. We got a Dragon War dropping out here from Water, and an ultimate cast from SS to actually push back Water, who is gonna immediately ult for the V3 so that his teammates can get out of this Temi circle for free. They focus on Xiaohu, who dropped the beacon for their Yodohime. She is already moving. Dongqing's are already on the move as a result. And we're going to see Yu see a cannon shot coming out here from Dongqing. And Yu looks towards this. Nice ice freeze, actually. Wow, Yu was really ballsy right there. Dropping in there like that. Mystic Might, though, for the proc. It's a lot of mitigation for these guys. And the fact that if WBG even show up here, I'm not even sure they have value, because this Forbidden Seal is going to really just tarnish their wanting to stay here. DRG comes out here from the northeastern side, though. This is a really strong push for them right now if they can look towards the back line. But we don't have ultimates for SS. I'm not sure how much rage per second he's building. He's got around, he's 40%. No, that's not even 40. 30 percentile points or so. And OU is at 25. He finds a kill off of Dongqing. That solo pickup is going to be massive. Water tries to deny the solo. How did he... Yo, chill. He avoided the Dragon War with that swift move. He's my hero. Yu is my hero. You can actually see this into week 1. Yu was looking for pot shots, man. He was looking for range shots, pistol shots, like in the middle of the heat of battle against a Wei-Shan and ultimate. Need I remind you? Like you really went through with that. And it won. I mean, I'm not saying it won him that specific, but that amount of poke damage in a small amount of time is kind of nuts. But Bauda is still waiting to go ahead and rebirth here. Yaron is looking towards doing so. He sees his chances respawning his teammates, but WBG spawned in here. We know Forbidden Seal has been here for at least half of a minute. So it's up to Sleepwalker's team and as well as WBG for the next 2 minutes to kind of work their way rotating towards a team who may or may not be ready to go for a fight or daring to do so. Against this comp, though, specifically in this terrain, WBG may not have much of a chance to kind of work with it because, hello, this is a lot of trees. There's a lot of scare rushable walls. Like that little building right here could be just enough reason to deny Sleepwalker his kill potential. Watch, you're going to see this, right? Look at the moonlight. He's using the wall for his advantage. This is a Temi circle. WFZ could get grabbed out here. That's also a Draco Storm that the DRG has been utilizing this time. Yeah, they got to confirm this kill off of Wushin. Even though they are getting bombarded with crossbow bolts, nothing's going to keep Sleepwalker alive. Not even with once A-Shot was down, it was kind of over. CGS looks for a tether opportunity there, but does not confirm it. WFC, though, finds a kill off of Baiji. That's tough. The moment that A-Shot got eliminated there is the moment things went downhill, and A-Shot was locked into that corner here. He had ultimate cast. I honestly think A-Shot should have used ultimate here no matter what. Even if you got the time to heal, don't take time to heal. Just use your ultimate. Because you're in the zone too, right? In this zone, you can look at the zone collapse damage doing this damage passively towards both Baiji and Sleepwalker percentage-wise. So, if anything, giving the benefit of this team to fight in the zone, extending their stay here would have given him enough time to keep Sleepwalker not only out healing the zone damage, but also curing that poison tick that's happening passively against the crossbow if it doesn't come through. But look, it's just a case scenario. Actually, Bauda's Jing was able to pick up the elimination there too. Let's talk about Bauda. They actually were able to pick up all the teammates. Wow, only one Reaper Charm is used, from your run at least. But Jing is located here. Peak is actually located as well. Peak was the one who's getting res. Su, Tesla Enchant, massive. Okay, V3 cast coming out here as 330 tries to work his way up towards the cliff side as well. LXM procced his V3 a little bit too preemptive, a little premature for it, because I understand where it kind of comes out in terms of using it. I think I don't know if he fat fingered it, maybe. I don't know. He used F3 into V3, I think. No. He just used V3 to mitigate the Tessa enchant stagger. But even then, that's losing out on Viper push, which CGS would have taken full capability of just making sure it was possible to do it with his second enchant, because he did miss the first enchant, so he was able to build up rage passively anyways for 10%. That's like a range shot or twice. But QGG finds DRG's Wushin into the zone, and that's going to be elimination for KLA. 5 eliminations so far. WFZ 5 eliminations as well, but they did lose Wushin early on, as we saw. It's kind of crazy how OUG are just making sure this is their game. That's going to be a kill. Sobum pick up for you. And an OUG have 17 eliminations now. Wow. So there's around 13 other players. That means if like I said, and I spoiled it, they got a 30 bomb. I'm not sure if it's this game, but we're going to keep track of that. Dragon Slayer Razor Swift, or Heartstopper Razor Swift, is massive from CXZ to actually have. And an Aurora Burst gets out GG, or Wuchen Or gets out GG. They try to res CGS. Doesn't get the shield wall. Is hoping he's kind of getting it. He dodges the Tesla ultimate. He out heals whatever damage was being dealt to him. He's got literally a sneeze away. Finds a nice armor swap for his teammate. At least no burns happen. Caster cursing it. Tesla ultimate to deny anyone pushing through this wall that LXM was getting pressured from, or this entrance. We're going to see QGG rushing right into this building with a pole sword, and I'm not sure if he has ultimate. 17S has ultimate. You can keep that team alive with the V2 into the zone. Well, not to the zone, but like off the edge of the circle, so within the zone. But QGG finds himself to get resetted from here for his armor. And as QGG looks towards healing up his health, it's like nothing ever happened. Except, here's the problem. Every single one of these guys used their ultimate. I'm not sure where CXZ stands for Rage. But Bauda, they might get this Gold Morris blessing for free. There is enough Wuchen shields to give Peak and Jing enough time to just loot this one up. And that's going to be gold armor for Peak. Gold dagger, too. Kind of huge. As GG looks towards his region into the snowfall, looting up a body, whose was WFZ. 8 eliminations, though, for GG here. It's got a good game. Standings, please. So DRG are in second place right now. Our first place has OUG at 18 eliminations with 41.5. DRG at 5 and second with 40.4. And we can see GG has 8 with 38.3. Now, a good subsection, a lot of people, like 4th through 8th, they're out of the game. Between WBG, FPX, JT, and BBE, and XCG. But KLA are still through here. They have 16.1. 5-2-1 working 3 eliminations this round, so 13 points into this third round. But JJH is eliminated with only 1 elimination, and we see that about it is at 1 elimination as well. They've been kind of holding strong, though, even with this kind of pressure into the final circles that we're ending up on. But there's still kind of ways to go in terms of it. So hoping to see where that stands for GG as well. Because, you know, I mean, OUG kind of doing work out here for those eliminations. The Sand Cypher comp. The Wutepper comp doesn't really have much opportunity to kind of go crazy from ranged positions. Except for Wu Chen kind of defending them. But for Viper or anything, right? This is where Cannonball kind of gives enough timing for where Fairy Shen can just use to poke out and burn out resources for enemy teams. But KLA are stacked as can be. I think if 17S works his way. Oh wow, armor pierce from who? You? Yo, chill. I'm pretty sure that's from the King, right? Yeah, that's King's aim right there. But Yu's looking to push this. He saw other range shots coming out from Bauda, so he's like, oh, yeah, come fight me. Now, as it comes through here, a Valiant Challenge pickup from 5-2-1 as they can get vision through walls and cliff sides. You trying to poke out GG as they come close. I don't know if Yu is going to be looking to try to just force one of their enemy or the teammates to come out here and just take the challenge. If they do take the challenge, I'm, rip, because it comes out to the Wu Chen if he's not the first one to go in, right? He's the one to get the team out, and if he needs to get them out, right, he has to burn his F. If he burns his F3 on top of the ultimate, there's no stopping now. 3-3-0, right? Here it is. He himself is the Wu Chen. Gets caught into test enchant, gets caught into burning mold defiance, and gets caught into cannon shots, and there's no way for him to save himself. From Yu coming out for the kill steal against that, and a benthic descent as a defensive measure as CGS tries to burn away any of the cannon shots going towards his direction. No one can go for this res, but this Moonbane is also going to deny the safety net that GG looks to try to put themselves in. A headshot stagger here would just deter CGS from living for much longer, because if a Moonbane strike happens right then and there, it's over. You can actually see Moonlight get struck over there from DRG from Moonbane Blast. I'm not sure if anyone took advantage of that. 5-2-1 is going to look to try to take it through. 20 seconds left on the Moonbane. Moonlight can't scare rush anywhere between here and there because of this blast, and Pampy finds himself getting caught to Moonbane Blast. Unique. It's like, yo, chill, here, have this F1. Cannon shots coming out from OUG. Pressuring out this team. Pampy is getting bombarded, and this push coming out from OUG just makes it so it's like, yeah, there's no real chance for you to actually come through and sustaining at full value. And that whisk throw was enough time to give Pampy and his teammates a little scared moment. I mean, Unique had to use ultimate there to deny range shots, but this is exactly what the OUG were kind of looking for. They even looked to put the King in a spot where he can armor swap on the fly and go right back in for those cannon shots because he is the sole wielder of one of the cannons in the team. He's got 5 repair chests. He's trying to proc as many burns, as much shots as he can. Has a repair roll, and has also a bow. And this bow is just going for those quick shots. If you can look for like a streamlined shot from a distance that he can't cannon because of time for the team to actually move away from it. But you, man, 9 eliminations. That's crazy. And we still have 11 players for him to find out. OUG find 20 eliminations actually. 11 players actually. All right, CXC finds a kill off of Pampy. I'm not sure if Unique or Oh, not unique. I don't know if Yin is able to actually grab that res for them. The zipping in. SS finds LXM. This is really a big chance for the resources to be burned. We can. Last time I saw it was 3. It was 5. Now we're down to 3 for you. It's gonna repair roll. There's 2 left for repair chest. KLA holding their corner. You can see aerial gamers coming out between DRG and Bauda. Both Peak and Jing are ground level though, so I'm not sure how well. I'm not sure how Yaron is kind of gonna go ahead and get this one off. There's another cannon shot. QGG is eliminated. You look towards 17S as well. CXC. SS is going to push these guys out of their own circle, and he has ultimate too. So if SS looks towards this, there it is. Whisk throw catches one person, 17S, who is getting caught into burns as well, and is going to get as enticed to use F3 to try to lock into teammate. And there it is. Another kill on SS through burn alone. It's going to happen. It's kind of nuts. I'm not going to lie. 7. Wait, don't tell me these guys get the 30 bond in this game. That's kind of nuts. That's actually kind of wild. Hold on. OUG are pushing out Bauda. As a result, KLA had to reset while Yin is next to CXZ. We're going to see how those two are going to want to fight. Cannon shots coming out. Meteor is now Meteor is now acquired. Or no, that's not a Meteor. But you just keep on. He's keeping the shots going through, man. The burn is getting applied, and he has no more repair chest. As a result, he's got 6 shots left. Looking the cannon shot. Jing goes down. Picks up a Soblum immediately. Looking around, seeing if there's anyone left to go ahead and be in part. Peak is going to be one of the teams that they're going to Pete Bauda. I don't know. V3 going to come out here, but I think as much R&B spams is going to be what's necessary. Ooh, nice ultimate from SS. And actually enough time for you to drop right back in there. Peak gets teleported for his Wu Chen. That's going to be a Dragon War into the Temi Circle. Yaron gets caught into the Whisk throw as well. Peak gets eliminated. Armor swap to go ahead and give it to the King, and King is gonna go ahead and see you at full HP, and it's like, yeah, man, go back in. SS finds a Dragon Slayer. Nejaz. Okay, hold on a second. Let's look at that. Dragon Slayer Nejaz is connected. Cannon shots are confirmed. There's kill number 1 and 2 for OUG. They actually are cleaning up this lobby, man. What's going on here? R&B coming back and forth, and Yin is gonna be the one person here that's gonna be one of the final sayals with the V2 as the Zipping Ying. But the Fear and Blast is going to say otherwise. Moonlight getting burned to death. I saw that R&B off of Yin. And then a kill off of Moonlight. Off of the cannon. And Yaron is the final one eliminated. 30 kills. 30 eliminations. First place. There's no coming back from that. 30 eliminations. In 1 round, first place. You know the amount of multipliers from that, bro? That's 12 points. That's a 46-point game. I'm just doing the math in my head. Right? 46-point game? Someone give me the standings. Yeah. What the? Who allowed this to happen? I'm joking. No, the amount of pressure that OUG just did in that game, though, is kind of... Like, I want to say the shout out in this off of this team for this game was the armor swaps that King was doing, and not only to that, I think also when they fought WBG outside the realm meeting for the first fight and how they were able to contort the position of WG where they couldn't use ultimates, but also having a ballista on the stead was really good. And it was also really up towards how much they kind of want to stay in the open. It was really not luck. It's definitely not to that, where they were on ground units patrol against WBG, where A-Shao was getting focused by SS and how he was like just moving his way back and forth, but then using ultimate to kind of put it in a timing spot where it was exactly at the time that was needed for the team to get out, for using a wind wall to deny A, B, and C of locations between the 3 teammates. So, yeah. Kind of cracked. Kind of wild. Where's the MVP? 18 eliminations, 41k damage. We know the fan was big, but the cannon 12k damage is not, it's not something to scoff at. That's just straight shots to be made. And he had the repair roll, right? He had Juggernaut as well. And that Rupture Guild burn was definitely it. He had a Phoenix Blast, but no longsword of great value. But the fan itself, you know, it's gold fan too. They picked up the, remember, they spawned into the you can see it right there. right? That's DRG. OUG spawned right there. Goes straight to the shop, or goes straight towards the Salvation Podium. They probably even, I'm pretty sure they eliminated XCG as a result, because XCG was eliminated pretty fast, pretty early on, or not early on, but like they got taken out like quick. And then they fought WBG the second time into the second roaming to this roaming and actually won it out. This is really good stuff from OUG. I think the King might have been, you know, that V2 right here though was kind of impeccable for the King. Like right here. So HP Jades, armor swaps, using the terrain to your advantage with the Forbidden Seal and the Ballista. On top of just utilizing those Jades, just getting down to the HP, but to the burn and everything, just capitalizing on just as much shots, and then giving the repair roll not to someone who's like the King, but like to the Takeda as well for his cannon shenanigans to go crazy. All in all, good game. But we'll be back for round 4. We're gonna enter Morris Isle and let's take a look and seeing what happens then, because you know that was it. That was a 30 bomb. That was a 30 bomb. Crazy. We'll be back.